In 2019, DJI released one of the lightest consumer drones to date, the Mavic Mini. Weighing in at 249 grams, the Mini was self-monikered as your everyday flying drone. A year later, DJI released its successor, the Mini 2. Now, it's got more enticing bells and whistles while still maintaining residency in its former weight class. Is it worth the upgrade? Or just enough to entice those who completely skipped the Mavic Mini? From the looks of it, the Mini 2 is seamlessly the same as the Mavic Mini. Same design, compact and foldable, still sports the ultralight 249 gram stamp on its side. But really, don't let its looks deceive you. This tiny beast of a drone can now shoot 4K 30 frames per second at a bitrate up to 100 megabits per second, far exceeding the Mavic Mini at 2.7K 30 frames per second at 40 megabits per second. For photographers, the Mini 2 now shoots in RAW, giving them a wider spectrum to adjust their photos in post that the Mini couldn't do, all the while adding photo modes like panoramic and wide. Great upgrades? Sure, but the most impressive upgrades to the Mini 2 are tied to its user's experience. The Mini 2 now uses OcuSync 2.0, a wireless transmission system that offers low latency HD wireless video signal and controller signal, which expands its maximum range to 10 kilometers, more than doubling the range compared to the Mavic Mini. It's pretty nice that the Mini 2's flight range is stronger, but its upgraded remote is what I feel is the belle of the ball. DJI got rid of the Mavic Mini's remote that, for all intents and purposes, looked like a child's toy. I really like this remote. It feels really good in hand, it doesn't feel cheap, and it matches DJI's aesthetic compared to the older controller. And paired with the already user-friendly DJI Fly app, the new DJI remote elevates the Mini 2's user experience to newer heights that I didn't expect. Although, as much as I do love these improvements, there's still two reasons why I might pass on this drone for a pricier one. First, there's still no obstacle avoidance sensors on the Mini 2, and flying a drone without those is just plain scary for me. And the $450 price tag doesn't help that either, which is far more expensive than any other drone in its weight class. But the lack of the obstacle avoidance sensors is somewhat acceptable in my opinion. I can only assume that adding those sensors would add unwanted weight to the Mini 2, setting it way above the 250 gram threshold, which is one of the biggest selling points for the Mini series. But the other reason, not so much, and that's active tracking. Active track allows the camera to lock on to a certain area in the camera's view. And surprisingly, it's using its programmed flight paths called quick shots, but not in its normal flight modes, which is a super bummer. I really hope that DJI adds this in the future. Active tracking is one of the features that I feel cinematographers will benefit from who are looking for a 4K drone. But don't get me wrong, the Mini 2 is a great drone and intrigues me just enough, which doesn't bode well for me, an aspiring cinematographer who wants more from his drone, like active tracking and the option to shoot on a flatter color profile to edit and post, like the Mavic Air 2. But if you want a 4K drone and an amazing user experience without dealing with the FAA, the DJI Mini 2 is the drone I'd recommend for beginners and flyers who are ready to level up from those junky drones at the mall. And that's something to admire.